Hi guys, so today we're going to go over the direction of the sum of three vectors, given the values of each vector, which are the magnitude and direction. So, writing the vector u. Remember, if I'm given the magnitude and direction, I should note that each one of these is in degrees. I have vector u, which is equal to 5 cosine of 250 degrees and 5 sine of 250 degrees. And for vector v, I have 8 times the cosine of 60 degrees and 8 times the sine of 60 degrees. And finally, given vector w, sorry, I meant to change the color on that, vector w, I have 12 times cosine of 330 and 12 times the sine of 330. Okay, so given the magnitude and direction, the first thing I'm going to do is just find the sum of these three vectors, meaning u plus v plus w. Remember, in vector operations, you can only add like terms. So meaning you can only add the x values together and you can only add the y values together. So vector u plus v plus w, make sure you have your calculator ready. Okay, so 5 times cosine of 250, I would press equals and then plus and put in one parentheses 8 times cosine of 60, and then plus, and then in parentheses 12 times cosine of 330. And equals, make sure you're in degrees as well. That should give you an approximate value of 12.68. So that is the x value. From here, do the same thing calculating the y's. Just make sure you put parentheses around each y value and then add them up, and that should give you negative 37.7. So this is my sum. This is my vectors. This is the sum of the vectors. It's asking for the direction though. So remember that we have magnitude formula, which is just the square root of x squared plus y squared, and we have the direction angle formula, which is just the tangent of theta equals y over x. And the reason for that is, remember that a vector is just a line with a direction. So the 12.68 is just the x value, the negative 37.7 is just the y value. So that just tells me that my vector is here, and it always starts at the origin, and there's my line with the direction. So there's my vector. So if I take the tangent of theta equals negative 37.7 divided by 12.68. All right, so you would divide negative 37.7 divided by 12.68, and you would get somewhere around negative 2.97, blah, 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 blah. Keep that entire decimal in your calculator because we're going to find theta by getting rid of tangent by using inverse tan. So most scientific calculators, you have that entire decimal value. So you're just going to press inverse tan, which is second tan, and you're going to pull up that previous decimal answer by pressing second negative. Negative is on underneath the 3 rather than the minus sign. So second negative should pull up the previous answer, and that will give you negative 71.4 degrees. So we have theta is approximately negative 71.4 degrees. I'm going to keep, again, that entire decimal in my calculator. Now remember, negative just means that I'm going, rather than counterclockwise, which is the positive angles direction, I'm going clockwise, which would be this way. And makes sense because if I travel negative 71.41 degrees, I would be in the fourth quadrant, which is where that vector is. Now again, most of the time you will not see the angle written as a negative. So in this case, to get the positive value, you would add a full circle to it, which is 360. Remember your coterminal angles again. So that would give you approximately 288.59 degrees. And that would be the direction of the sum of the three vectors. All right, guys, hope this helped.